Hey everyone, Rich Morgan, CEO of Magic Touch Mechanical and the Fireplace in Mesa, Arizona. Magic Touch Mechanical is an HVAC contracting and home services company, and the Fireplace is our fireplace and fire pit division, where we do installation and service of fireplaces and fire pits. Today's video is going to be a complete departure of my usual posts. I thought that I could help out some aspiring entrepreneurs by talking about how I scaled my first home service business to a multi-million-dollar annual revenue and how we've remained in business for over 28 years. So it's the statistics that I'm about to share that prompted me to make this video, because I think I can help other people achieve their goals as well. So let's do it. I made myself some cliff notes here so I could stay on track, which you'll understand in a few minutes with what we're going to talk about today. First off, let's start with the statistics that prompted me to make this video in the first place. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics, most service businesses don't make it past 5 years. So they say that 20% of small businesses fail in the first year, 50% fail in the first 5 years, and only 15% of small businesses in America last 25 years. The other thing that I found really surprising in the statistics was that only 9% of small businesses make over $1 million a year in revenue. And that was in 2024. So I was pretty surprised at that. But here I am, 28 years later, with a multi-million-dollar HVAC and fireplace business that's still thriving. And I wanted to talk about how did we do it? And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today. So whether you're in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, or any other home service business, or pretty much any small business, I think the strategies that I'm going to cover today can help you scale and scale profitably and avoid some of the mistakes that nearly took me out over the course of 28 years. I'll share the biggest lesson that I learned that almost killed my business and how we turned that into a win. If my video today helps you, I only have one request. Do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and certainly let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So let's jump into it. First off, why did I start the business? Frankly, I had no business starting a business. I was in my mid-20s. I had no business experience. Nobody in my family owned a business. All I really had was some naive optimism. 1985 Ford van with a ladder rack that I made from an old bed frame, seriously. And honestly, just a desire to do anything else but wind up in a cubicle. At the time, I was working for a company that I liked. In fact, I'm still friends with the owner today. But I had this desire to build something for myself, and I just decided it was worth the risk. There were some early challenges right away. I had no capital, no real brand. I was working crazy hours every week just to make it work. And I'll tell you a story about something that happened to me less than a year in business. I went to go see an SBA advisor. He was a retired executive from General Electric. I brought him in my meager paperwork, what I thought was a business plan, etc. And his advice to me was to declare bankruptcy and go back to work for somebody else. That was a little over 27 years ago. I'm starting to think he was wrong, but we'll see. Time will tell, right? So I kept on going, and then I had my first big break. I had a client that I did some work for in her home, and she had a connection with a big commercial account that turned out to be basically an HVAC bonanza. They had ice machines, walk-in refrigerators, walk-in freezers, hundreds of air conditioning systems across this large commercial business. And unfortunately, that was also one of my first hard lessons and something that I wish I knew back then. And it was a hard lesson on pricing jobs correctly from the start, because I was working my tail off at the time. and I was paying the bills, but I wasn't profitable. So really, I had a job. Just it was for myself. I wrote down what I felt were the 5 key strategies that made a difference and explain why we're still here today and why we're successful. To do that, I want to tell another story, and it's a story about skydiving. I've been a skydiver for about 25 years. I have over 1,000 skydives. And 25 years ago, I was making what I believe is called the level 4 jump. So before you can get your A license for skydiving, you have to do an emergency exit jump. Basically, the door opens up at 4,000 feet. You got to hop and pull and land safely. It's one of your first jumps without any instructors, and you have to execute properly every step because you got 4,000 feet. You can't make any mistakes. And I wasn't nervous about jumping out of the plane. In fact, I was excited about it. What I was nervous about was figuring out, how do I know where I land? And I had a instructor that gave me some great advice. He said, look where you want to land. He said, if you look at a tree, you're going to land in the tree. If you look in the lake, you're going to land in the lake. But if you paint an X on the spot you want to land on in the landing area, you're going to land there. And I find that looking where you want to land applies to pretty much everything in life, business included. If you know where you want to land with your business, you're constantly aiming for that place. Now let's jump into these key strategies. Number 1 is the power of niching down, finding your niche in your particular field. For example, with us, it was fireplaces and HVAC, right? What's our niche though? Probably the biggest mistake we made early on was taking on every job. Didn't matter the customer, commercial, residential, looking for the cheapest, wanting the most premium, that kind of thing. We took it. And that was a big mistake. Once we started to focus on what we do best, which is high-end fireplaces, top-tier HVAC solutions, we started to stand out and become the go-to experts in that niche. More importantly, it paired us with the right customers because they were the right customers for us at what we did best, which made us the right company for them, which equals a high satisfaction rate in both directions. So understanding what your niche is and eliminating everything that's not your niche, to me, was the leading factor of our success over the years. Number 2 was building a team rather than just hiring employees. Hiring people is easy. Finding the right people is the big challenge. The right people for your company and people that you're the right company for. It has a lot to do with training, company culture, and that's what leads to long-term retention. Knowing that you have the right people. If you don't have the right people, you're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy. There's not going to be retention, and it becomes a revolving door. I know we've all seen this in companies, and we hear about the challenges that people have and how nobody wants to work and they can't find the right people. And I'm here to tell you that I can honestly say today, I don't have one person on the team that I don't like and that I don't trust. We found all the right people for our team. We have people that have been with us for many, many years. And the people that we do hire stick around. And it wasn't always the case because we weren't always hiring the right people for us, or we weren't the right company for them. And today I know that lesson is that I'd rather have no people than the wrong people. So I live by the old adage of hiring slow, no matter how busy we are. If that means I have to turn down projects or work sometimes, I know better than just to hire people that aren't a fit for the team because they're not going to be the right fit for the customer, and nobody's going to be happy. And investing in those people and investing in those people's training and really making sure they understand the company culture and they're a good fit is going to lead to a better customer experience. It's going to lead to a better team experience. And again, I'm not saying I did things right the first way. We were a revolving door for years, and it took me a long time to figure that out. So I'm sharing because the earlier you figure that out, the sooner you can get to that multi-million-dollar revenue and be in that 9% of companies that do that and be in that 15% of companies that last 25 years plus. Number three is branding and customer experience as a competitive advantage. So, what do I mean by that? First off, we all know customers don't just buy services, they buy from people they like, they buy from people they have confidence in, and people they trust. And so we made branding and our customer service our differentiator, what set us apart from all the other HVAC companies in the Phoenix area and the other fireplace retail companies around the country. And I'll use the fireplace as an example. What do I mean by that? A personal experience. It sounds like BS, but let me explain. It's not. Could we sell more fireplaces if we just opened up our door for walk-ins? Absolutely. But again, we're not trying to be everything to everyone. We're looking for a specific customer that is looking for a specific company. We want to be a car lot or a furniture store where a team swarms you as you pull up to the lot. We want to give our clients a private luxury experience, and it comes complete with snacks and beverages if they want. Why is that important and why is that different? If you've ever been in a fireplace store or a fireplace showroom or design center or pretty much any kind of design center, a flooring design center, walls design center, usually it's just open to the public and people come in and they might not be the right fit for the company, or you might not be the right fit for them. Whereas there's people that do their research and they have a specific need and want, and we provide that specific niche of service to them. So that's why our showroom is not open to the public. It's by appointment and it's a private tour each and every time. So just something that's different from how our competitors go to market. Okay, the next thing. Leveraging our content and our online presence to grow the company. First off, you got to look where you land, right? You have to have a well thought out marketing strategy, not what everyone else is doing. For example, we had a website and we were employing SEO before any of our competitors did. You have to remember, this was in the very early internet days. Yellow pages were king. The big full page ad and the double truck ads, for those of you who don't know, that was a side-by-side full page. They cost tens of thousands of dollars. And Yellow Pages had every company. That was the go-to to get business. So we were early adopters with a website and with an internet presence and doing some SEO. We dominated because most of our competitors, even the larger companies, weren't doing it yet. The internet was still kind of, well, we'll see what happens. There weren't as many people on the internet, but it helped us get to our niche and our customer, and it helped put us together. So point being, figure out what you do best and then don't try to follow what everyone else is doing, and you'll have success at it because you're looking where you want to land. We built authority through content, SEO, blogs. Over the years, people were talking about blogs like it was, they kind of lost popularity for a while, but we were early adopters of writing blog articles and how-tos and product reviews and comparisons and all that, establishing ourselves as the local authority on those subjects. Social media, same thing, early adopters. We were on Twitter and Facebook and all that for many years and stayed faithful to it. We didn't just build a page and then kind of forget about it. We shared and we built an audience. I think a lot of service businesses ignore this. They ignore the SEO and the time that it takes to blog and make YouTube videos. If I had to explain why, I would say it's probably pay-per-click. Pay-per-click is fast. It's for demand service in the HVAC business. But my experience is you're not building a relationship with those customers. I remember back in the day having huge pay-per-click campaigns, and we crushed it because the playing field was pretty much empty back then. I learned pay-per-click. I read about it. We experimented with it, and we did very well with it. But again, I wasn't always reaching my target customer and who I wanted to work with. And as a result, there were some struggles over the years because we were still trying to be everything to everyone. Today, we do still do some pay-per-click, but they're very small campaigns. They're very specific because, let's face it, that field is saturated, especially in HVAC in Phoenix. So we employ some different practices. Those early strategies helped us dominate local search. And nowadays, it's all about AI, which I truly believe is going to be bigger than the internet. And the companies that are investing the time and the capital now are going to reap the benefits over those who wait too long. So 28 years later, we're still trying to do things that are different from what all of our competitors are doing and where they're going and how they're trying to reach their right customer. And the big one, understanding pricing and profit margins. The pricing mistake that almost put us out of business and the formula we use now are two completely different things. I once had a mentor of mine say something that was not only funny at the time, but it stuck with me over the years because it was 100% accurate. He said, the good thing about a business running out of money is it only happens once. Truer words were never spoken as far as I'm concerned. When I think about that high failure rate and knowing people whose businesses have been bankrupted or were unsuccessful or continue to struggle, it's usually with regards to, they might have a great product, they might provide great service, but if there's not cash flow to continually grow the business, to support the customers, to improve, you won't make it. You'll struggle and eventually you'll fail. So again, there's been many times over 28 years that I wasn't looking where I wanted to land. And there was a point in time where I was so focused on growth, how many trucks we had, how many technicians and installers we had, etc., that I was heading right for the tree. I was going to land in the tree. Granted, I was younger then, so I would have to say I could blame most of that on my own ego. And it really almost ended the company because of cash flow issues. I was more concerned about the bragging rights of how big the company had gotten, that I wasn't focused on the margins and making sure that we had a solid cash flow. I finally figured out we needed to focus on finding the right customer and offering them what we do best, not what some high volume company does best. I was able to give those customers more value and a better customer experience. And customers are willing to buy a better value. I'm not saying more expensive, I'm saying a better value. If you can give them a better bang for their buck, they're going to want to do business with you, right? We all do. And then that's going to lead to repeat business. It's going to lead to referrals. And most importantly, the right customers now are seeking us out rather than us spending all our money in pay-per-click and what have you to go find more customers. Don't get me wrong. We invest in marketing. We invest in advertising. What I look for specifically are the things my competitors aren't doing, and sometimes they're doing it, but I'm focused on our particular niche, not for the sake of volume. So if I had to look at what are the biggest lessons that 28 years in business have taught me, number one would be that not all growth is good growth. We took on too many jobs at one point. Some weren't profitable, and some that we were doing just didn't even fit our brand. So learning to say no and removing services that we offered was a game changer. We did a lot of commercial business back in the day in that low temp. I told the story of our first big success. Not only did we walk away from that account back in the day, we left on good terms, but we discontinued offering them services completely. We honored the remaining contracts that we had, service contracts with commercial clients, refrigeration, that kind of stuff, and we stopped offering it. So we learned to say no. Now, we still do business with commercial. We do a lot of business with commercial accounts, but they're businesses that we're dealing directly with the owner. It's our niche. We're not doing any refrigeration for them, any walk-ins, anything like that, because it's not our niche. And if they're looking for the cheapest possible option, I'll point them in the right direction. There's probably cheaper options out there. You'll get what you pay for, but I understand sometimes that's what a person or a business needs at that time. So that would lead us to number two. Be the premium option, not the cheapest option. Competing on price is a race to the bottom. Customers want the best value, not just the lowest number. Again, the best value. That doesn't mean you have to be the most expensive. You just have to offer the best bang for the buck, and that's what we try to do. So being the premium option, not the cheapest, is probably my second biggest takeaway after not all growth is good. Number three, maybe this should be number one, cash flow is king. One bad month of cash flow can wipe out years of hard work. So always prioritize profitability over revenue growth. Revenue growth will come as long as you can remain profitable, because you're going to be able to deliver better service to your customers, and you're going to get that repeat business, you're going to get that referral business, and you're going to get people that seek you out. And then my last one would probably be, don't rely on just one marketing channel. Referrals are bread and butter, but brand building, SEO, social media, and marketing different from everyone else's, it's really what future-proofed our business over 28 years. When it comes to social media presence, we do a lot of things very different. I do these talking head videos and explainer videos sitting at my desk. It's not fancy, it's raw. I'm coughing, drinking water here, about to do it again. But people know I'm real, and they can get to know me. If they get to know me, they get to know about my company, and it's a more personal experience. My final takeaway would be that success in business is really not about working hard. Yeah, you have to work hard, but it's about working smart and adapting as your business grows. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to scale, these strategies that we talked about, I believe, will make a huge difference. And just keep in mind that there's no magic bullet. I recommend that you avoid the advice of these self-proclaimed gurus out there. The guys that are online on Facebook and they got ads going that promise to 10x your business and their secret formula. That's not real. There is no magic bullet. There is no secret formula. There are many successful people that you can seek out, mentors and business leaders in the HVAC industry, in the plumbing industry, all over. And you can learn from them, but don't try to copy them. What I mean by that is figure out your niche, figure out who your ideal customer is, who are your ideal teammates, and then keep looking at where you want to land without ever taking your eyes off of it. And you'll get to that $1 million plus revenue, and you'll get to that over a quarter century in business. So, hey, this is, again, a complete departure from the videos I normally make. I hope it was helpful. Do me a favor, if you got some value from this, hit subscribe, do me a favor back. I'll be sharing more business insights along with our usual HVAC and fireplace content. So shoot me a comment, do me a favor, like this video. I'd be happy to talk more. Let me know what else I should be talking about, or if I should just shut up completely and get off YouTube. But seriously, if you're in Arizona too and you need a fireplace or you need HVAC service, do me a favor and schedule a call on our website. We have two websites. If you need air conditioning service or heating, anything HVAC related, it's airconditioningarizona.com. And if you need anything to do with fireplaces, fire pits, fire features, that website is thefireplaceaz.com. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.